Michael, start of a really busy period for the club now, with obviously Port Vale away this weekend. You know them fairly well, you played them fairly recently in the club. Are you expecting a similar sort of game?
Hopefully not, no. I think it was another game of two halves. I thought we dominated them first half and then could only score the one goal. I think we went on to score the second goal. It might have been a slightly different second half, but we didn't. They came out and they pressed the life out of us. And to be honest, dominated the second half. It's difficult to get out of that bottom end when teams do pin you in there, and they did it well. And they obviously, Popey went and scored 3 goals in 8 minutes, which was ultimately the difference in the game.
You mentioned after Cambridge about executing the game plan, particularly in the first half. Is that something you can work on to try and get the players to do that for the full night?
I think, well, sometimes it's opposition work you out. Sometimes players aren't having a good day, but I don't think that was the case on Saturday. So sometimes you do tweak things, or we have made changes at half time in recent weeks, but I don't think that was the case on Saturday. I think it was just a case of just believing what you've been told and what we've worked on during the week, and they did that and they took that on, and we were much better second half, and again had enough chances to go and win the game. We had a great chance in the first minute of the second half, I think, and again it was disappointing when we did score that we didn't go on, but they might say they should have been out of sight by that point as well. So it's probably a case of the last few weeks is we've not done enough to win games, but we haven't been getting beat.
Your away form's pretty good, 8 unbeaten in all competitions. How pleased are you with that form?
Yeah, great. Particularly where we were before. We've gone from one extreme to the other. But I think that's where we've been generally, other than the Port Vale game and the FA Cup, we've been difficult to beat. I think the 2 defeats that we've had were in August, but recently we haven't quite done enough to win a game. So this margin at this level, there's nothing in games. So I think I've just been looking at Port Vale there. They've had 21 games this season, and 19 of them have either been drawn or there's only been 1 goal in it. So it shows there's real fine margins to win and lose a game at this level.
But I guess because of your unbeaten run and the position you're in the table, other clubs are having to look at what you're doing to try and find a way of beating you.
Yeah, different challenges for the players. You look at the league table; it's 3rd, but 1 win you could be 8th. So it's an accumulation of points over the season. We're happy with our points total per game at the minute. I think if we replicate that in the second half of the season, 70 points from 40 games with 6 games to go, you're going to be in and around it. So that's the challenge. Can you repeat it? Can you replicate it? Can you work out other teams when they are coming to set up different ways? Can we tweak the little things that we need to do, because that work has taken place on the training ground. So it's an enjoyable pressure rather than fighting and scrapping, and the players are still doing that, but it's a different type of pressure.
And as we were saying, it's such a busy period. There's a chance to really continue that momentum with a lot of games over a couple of week period. Did you kind of enjoy that kind of pressure?
Yeah,
at this time of year?
I think every club in the league will be saying the same thing, whether at the bottom of the league, mid-table, or the top of the league. It was bottom of the league, it's an opportunity to get right out of it. If you're mid-table, it's an opportunity to get involved in the playoffs, and obviously for us it's an opportunity to cement ourselves in that top 7. The direct games do come thick and fast. There's a quick turnover. It's difficult to plan and prep for games, so you're trying to get your work in early as regards to watching opposition and things. So that work's taking place from the staff's point of view. From the players, it's just a case of focus on the next game, see what you can do, rest, recuperate, go again. And there's a mindset to that as well. It's because you'll hear lots of people say you've got to rest players, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. Just crack on. That'll be the message from the staff to the players. The players have taken it on already this season, and it's can you do that with that mentality and your quality to go and win games.
And I guess the players that perhaps are not starting have got to be ready. You're going to need your whole squad over such a busy period.
Always, it's always the case. It's like I said, there's been injuries in warm-ups this year. We've made subs at half time, so they need to be ready constantly, because if they're not, they'll miss their opportunity and someone else will take it, and that's what we want. That the culture at the club is good as regards to that at the minute. The demand that the players put on each other every day is high.